And we know that inconsistency in the NBA is a nightmare.
We know Jerry West is, and the Lakers organization are very detailed in their scouting, so they must feel that he's got some potential, Rick.
Well, actually, I mean, I thought that they were going to go for a guard or perhaps a little bit of a shooter. This young man, again, they don't feel he doesn't know how really to play the game. He needs to be able to learn how to play the game of basketball. He has a reach, a wingspan 109 inches. So he obviously can do some things inside. He could probably have to get stronger. As you can see, he's just a little bit frail. But I'm really surprised that they went for a big man as opposed to going for a guard.
And we're still waiting for Houston to trade.
Yeah, right.
Who's looking like he's already building a house down in Houston. We'll be back with the second round right after this.
I'm Bob Knoll. My official title is Head of Auto Testing for Consumer Reports magazine, but I really work for you. Every year, my staff and I report on over 140 models, specifically with your needs in mind. So when you shop for a car, you'll know if it's safe and reliable, how it's equipped, how it performs, and whether it's cramped or comfortable. And there are over 200 people who work for you at Consumer Reports. We test and report on everything from toothpaste to TVs. And since Consumer Reports is nonprofit and accepts no advertising, we're able to give you the unbiased truth about products. Right now is a good time to try Consumer Reports because you can get a free trial issue with no strings attached. Here are the details.
Call now for your free trial issue of Consumer Reports. Learn how products compare, which give you the most value for your dollar, and which are best for your specific needs. Consumer Reports gives you information like which fast food lunch had the least fat, which VCR had the best picture quality, which oil filter best protects your car, which laundry detergent delivers what it promises, and which bank really helps the money pile up. Consumer Reports rating system compares products by brand name. You'll know who the reliable manufacturers are, which models have the features you want, plus all the pros and cons, including price. Call now for your free trial issue, then decide. When the bill arrives, pay it and get 11 more issues, 12 in all, including the annual buying guide issue for just $20. Or write cancel on the bill and owe nothing. If you do subscribe, you'll also get 2 free gifts. The New Medicine Show, updated and revised, plus the 1990 buying guide issue.
And your paid subscription includes the annual auto issue with new car ratings, repair records, and crash test results. So put Consumer Reports to work for you. Call now.
Call 1-800-537-4800. 1-800-537-4800.
The first round of the 1990 NBA draft is history. Let's take a look at how it went. The first player, Derek Coleman, the power forward out of Syracuse to the New Jersey Nets. Gary Payton out of Oregon State to the Sonics. Chris Jackson from LSU to the Nuggets. It was Dennis Scott from Georgia Tech to Orlando, followed by Gill to the Hornets. Spencer, the first center selected, went to Minnesota. Bo Kimball from Loyola Marymount stays right out there on the West Coast with the LA Clippers. Ramil Robinson from Michigan went to Atlanta. Alec Kessler to the Houston Rockets, the power forward from the University of Georgia. Travis Mays went to the Sacramento Kings at number 14. Jamerson of Miami University to Miami, of Ohio University to Miami. Terry Mills to the Bucks. Gerard Mustoff, the early entry, went to New York. Dwayne Coswell, the center from Temple to Sacramento. Jason Williams went to the Phoenix Suns. He played at St. John's. He's the fellow who had the broken foot and the pin placed in his foot. Tate George, the guard, to the Nets. It was Dwayne Chinsis, lasting all the way to 24 from Florida. He went to the San Antonio Spurs. Ala Abdelnabi from Duke went to the Blazers. Blanks from Texas to the Pistons. And Clemson's Eldon Campbell was the last player selected and went to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, here's the draft order, gentlemen. From the second round, Golden State will select again. Golden State took Tyrone Hill at number 11, and then it'll be Chicago. You can see the trade activity made a lot of changes there. So that's through 32. 33rd choice will be Utah. Through 37 to Washington. You see a lot of these positions swapping around. These are those trades that take place. One of them there you saw took place back in 87. Charlotte got the 39th pick in 88. 47th pick will go to Philadelphia. And on it goes into the second round until number 51, the Los Angeles Lakers who will select last again. And
No, the thing that I think you're seeing is you're seeing that the level of skill, that it's going to a smaller, quicker player. And I know the premium is on strength, but it used to be if a big guy was there, you took him. You said, we're going to take a big guy. You got to win with the big guy. But the sophistication of the defenses, the way the game is being played, the premium on shooting, because of all the double teaming, you're finding teams now going with the skilled players. The glamour position in the NBA has become your 2 and 3 positions, and they've become your scorers because of the way the defense is being played.
You know, it reminded me a great deal of what happened back in '65 when I came out. The emphasis had always been on the big, strong players to go inside. Everybody wanted to get these type of individuals. And then in '65, you had guys like Billy Cunningham, Tom and Dick Van Arsdale. You had Bill Bradley coming out, myself. All of a sudden, you started to go to the quicker, smaller guys, and an emphasis kind of went on that. And then that went through a little stage where that happened. And then things kind of go in cycles. And then it went back to the big people again and getting those guys inside. And now I think we're back to looking again, you know, for the shooters and the guys who can open things up outside.
The Phoenix Suns, with the 31st pick in the 1990 NBA draft, select Miguel Knight, University of Dayton. Philadelphia will select next.
so Miguel Knight out of Dayton was the 3rd pick here in the 2nd round. He averaged 22.8. Pretty good player. And some people thought he might have gone in the 1st round.
Well, I think that this is a guy that maybe Sacramento might have taken earlier in the 1st round, except Travis May slipped, and they got him, which probably pushed Miguel Knight down a little bit. He's a very solid player, as Rick talked about now. It's going to give Kevin Johnson a little bit of a breather. You know, Kevin Johnson plays so hard out on the floor. It'll also free Hornacek up, maybe not to have to play as much point guard position. This guy's a very smooth player. He's strong. He can take it to the basket, as we see here. He can shoot the basketball, and he played in a very class system there at Dayton.
So Miguel Knight is the player selected there. Now coming up, Philadelphia. This will be Philadelphia's first opportunity to draft tonight. It will be the 32nd pick. Philadelphia won 53 games this year, finished first in the Atlantic Division. Let's find out how Philadelphia does. Here's Rod Thorne.
With the 32nd pick in the 1990 NBA draft, Philadelphia selects Brian Oliver of Georgia Tech. Utah will select the 33rd.
All right, so Brian Oliver, the 5th pick in the 2nd round, the 32nd pick in the draft overall. Brian Oliver out of Georgia Tech, and we'll talk about him when we come back to the Javits Center.
I never win any really good stuff in contests.
Oh, no? Well, now you can win the best stuff instantly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in the Gatorade Sports Best game. With all expense paid trips to the Super Bowl, the Final Four, the NBA All-Star Game, $10 million of the best prizes in the universe you can win instantly.
You don't mean...
That's right, a new sports car, a 1990 Corvette DR1. Look under the Gatorade label for your chance to win the best in sports.
Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page guide to understanding money and markets. That's 13 weeks of the Journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, now for only $34. Call toll-free 800-421-2000. Today's Wall Street Journal. Faster, tougher, smarter. Call 800-421-2000 now.
Ladies and gentlemen, a tribute to American movies.
I'm an inventor. No. This is the greatest country in the world.
A whole month of the good American stuff. An all-American salute next month on TNT.
Tonight on Sports Tonight.
It's a hot night tonight. Besides the NBA draft in baseball, the White Sox done for 7 straight, the Mets for 8 in a row, and if you're looking for a loan, dial up Jose Canseco. He's making $5 million a year now, Hannah.
Meanwhile, we'll see how everybody cashed in at Wimbledon, Nick, including Boris Becker, Steffi Graf, and a 4-time Grand Slam winner who ended her singles career. Also, the U.S. Senior Open kicks off tomorrow. Jack Nicklaus looking for his 3rd title.
That plus a full NBA draft recap. 11:30 Eastern Time tonight. Join us.
have a trade to announce. The Houston Rockets trade the draft rights to Alec Kessler, the 12th pick in the draft, to Miami. In exchange for the draft rights to Dave Jamerson, the 15th pick in the draft, and the draft rights to Carl Herrera, the 30th pick in the draft. With the 6th pick in the second round, the Utah Jazz select Walter Palmer, Dartmouth College. Golden State will select next.
All right, Walter Palmer, a 7-footer from Dartmouth, a project kind of player, a second-round player. He's 220 pounds, average about 16.5 points. But the story is here. Our colleague, our buddy here, Doug Collins, has been in a funk ever since he predicted Alec Kessler was going to get traded out of Houston.
Let's pat him on the back.
Now he's
thank you.
Way to go. Let's talk about this. Kessler, University of Georgia player, goes to Miami for the draft rights to Jamerson and to Carl Herrera. Sounds like a pretty good deal for both teams, and much like what, seriously, we talked about.
Well, we knew Houston needed a shooter, and this gives Miami now a young power forward. So they got Cycli Jamerson, Glenn Rice, Sherman Douglas. They have a very young team. They've done their homework. They are going to move up.
So Dave Jamerson, a player a lot of people like too, and Carl Herrera make the trade. Matter of fact, Alec Kessler said he was as surprised as Doug that he was selected by Houston at number 12. Let's go now to Craig Sager.
We talked to you earlier. You said you were shocked. You almost fell off your seat. Now you're traded. Welcome to the NBA.
Right, exactly. It's been a number of surprises for me here. So,
what about going to Miami?
Great. You know, I visited there last Sunday. Visited about every team, but and I liked it a lot. You know, I love the ocean and you know, the warm weather, and certainly playing on a young team with Ronnie Cycli and players like that. I think it's going to be an exciting deal for me.
Great place to study microbiology too.
I don't know about microbiology, but I'll ask you one question. What will you do with that hat?
I'm probably going to throw it out or sell it here at the arena.
Well, you're in the NBA, and the best of luck to you. You're going to have a lot of fun down in Miami.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Now let's go back to Bob.
All right, so the trade finally takes place. We were starting to think that was going to be the humorous move of the 1990 NBA draft. I'll explain once again why this can happen in the way that it was announced here. Because of the NBA league rules, if you make a trade on the telephone, an agreement to trade draft positions, that trade can't be consummated until the later or second draft choice is actually made. And in this case, it took all the way down to Carl Herrera before anything could really be announced about that. And now let's go to Rod Thorne again.
Golden State selects Kevin Pritchard, Kansas. The Washington Bullets will select next.
Kevin Pritchard at Kansas, of course. Rick, your son Scooter played there with Kevin Pritchard. Let's talk about him.
Well, he's a fine athlete. As you see, very intense competitor, a smart player, understands the game. I mean, I think he could be a nice guard with that team to back up in either the point or the two position. And I think Nelly came up with a good choice there. I like Kevin, a fine young man, and he should be able to help that ball club.
You know, Rick, we see Bimbo Coles. A lot of people thought he was going to be a first pick. He has slipped a little bit. A.J. English, Sean Higgins still has not been drafted, so there's still some surprises out there on the board where guys have not been taken yet.
Be interesting to see the decision of the new general manager at Washington. John Nash is there now. We'll see what they're going to do when we return to New York.
I'm Mike, Paxton brother nobody knows.
Who's that guy?
I'm Mike. We all shave with the same razor, Slim Twin disposable.
Slim Twin.
Slim Twin. He's got a narrow head.
Like Mike.
I'm Mike.
Yeah.
So you can shave hard to reach places.
Men prefer the Schick Slim Twin over Good News. The Slim Twin disposable reaches every place on every face.
Guys?
No autograph.
From Schick.
I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy.
No one makes musicals like American musicals. The swell stars.
Oh, you know, you're so wonderful.
The snappy pattern.
Why, the dress you almost have on.
The showstoppers.
New York, a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down.
All week long. All night long. Great American musicals. Next week on TNT.